to here. This is where you're only going to do sort of closer to the top there. So we are about, we're more than halfway through this painting actually. The last thing we're going to do is some palm trees. So I hope you like palm trees. I traditionally have found them a bit challenging to do. I'm just adding some water now to get that blend, and yep, there you go. And this is why your tissue is a good idea to have on hand. So I had a little bit too much water, and all you do is just dab that out. There we go. Yeah, so I was saying that palm trees are um, are lovely to look at. They can be a little bit of a challenge to paint, but they're actually so beautiful. I think that it's absolutely worth the effort to try them out. They're not that bad, really, to draw. You know, there are other trees that are a bit more challenging to paint. So, all right, good. So we've got our orange color. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a touch of pink to our orange color. So to that light tangerine that we've got going on here, we're just gonna add a teeny weeny, just a drop of pink and a drop of white, because we don't want, because that pink I've got there is like neon pink. It's super pink. So we don't want it to take over our painting. We just want a nice kind of blended color here. Yep, got a lovely kind of salmon thing happening here. And I'm just gonna bring that in here. Look how beautiful that is, huh? Just blend that out. You can even bring it back a little bit. And that's just lovely. Bring it up a little bit. Give me vision to see just like you do. I look to you. You're where my help comes from. All right, and we need the same color at the bottom. Always remember your reflection. All right. So we're doing pretty good. How are you doing? You're able to follow along. If you happen to have paints at home, but you can always just once this video is posted, you can just come back later and get yourself all set, and you can paint along with me. So, all right. Now we're gonna add a color here that might seem a little bit odd. I'm hoping that this works out. We're going to do a little tiny bit of green and then a little tiny bit of blue over in this corner. So I'm just going with just one drop of green paint and about 2 drops of white, because I want this to be a very, very, very pale color. So I'm just going to go with the barest hint of green at top. Right in here. There we go. And that just blends in beautifully. I'm going to bring this all the way down. And remember at bottom, and now I'm going to do the same with my blue. So I've got here, this one's called Copenhagen blue. It's a bit of a darker blue than primary blue. So it's, let me see, hopefully I can show you the color. I'm just going to do 1 drop. Come on now. There we go. 1 drop of that. Not sure if you're able to see that. And again, to 2 drops of white. You just want just sort of the palish shade of this blue, whichever blue you decide to use. And this is going to be the color that we bring down here. We're going to just blend that in. I'm just going to blend that in here. It's just going to add this lovely little accent to your color scheme. Isn't that lovely? Same below. And you can even bring it a little bit here. Just get some blending right here. Just remember, everything you do above, you do below. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to come back in here because you can probably notice that the orange is not blended in very well with the purple. So I'm going to go for 1 drop of purple. I'm going to do 1 drop of orange, and then I'm going to do white. 2 drops of white. I'm going to mix that together. And then I'm just going to come back in here and get this all blended out. I'm going to bring that color across, just very gently. going to use a touch of water because I'm looking for sort of a soft effect here. And there you go. So now you've got something that's a little less harsh. And you're good to go with this as is if you're looking to just maybe practice, doing just sort of a mountain sunset over, the mountains. But as I promised you palm trees, so we're gonna work on that. What I'm doing now, I'm just blending this in, just bringing sort of like little clouds into these areas here. Doing the same thing with the water below. As above, so below. Taking a bit of purple here, and it's just to get the blend a bit more seamless. Now right now I'm just using the edge of my brush. All right, there we go. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good. What do you think? Just adding some little touches of purple here and there. All right, so what we're actually going to do now is we are going to put in some stars, and for that you will need your fine brush. So maybe we'll add in the stars at another time. I think what we'll do right now is we'll work on our palm trees. Now our palm trees are going to be in the corner over here, and what we're implying is that there's land on this side. We don't actually have to draw in the land. We're just going to draw our palm trees up like this. We'll be using our black for that because we're doing silhouettes. I'm going to be using the edge of the brush and just coming up like this. They would be, of course, fuller at the bottom than at the top. I'm going to cross my palms like this. Just really. For the tops, we're going to sort of do kind of like an umbrella formation here. like this. That one was a bit thick, but it's okay. Also with the edge of your brush, you're now going to put in your leaves. If you do have a thin brush, that's good for this part. Remember, your palm has leaves on both sides. So these aren't perfect palms by any stretch of the imagination, but you get the idea. Same on this side. Now, I mentioned that we could have done stars as well. And one day we will do a galaxy painting, and I'll show you how you can make stars just by flicking your brush. However, that is quite a messy enterprise, so I would always advise you to have either wear clothing you don't mind getting destroyed by acrylic paint, or maybe wearing an apron. And there you go. All right. Okay. So at this point, your painting is done. As I said, you could, if you wanted to, add some stars, and I just might, just to give you a quick glimpse as to how you could get that done. Ideally, what you would have done is your stars before you did your arranging your palms and all of that. So I'm taking a bit of a risk here, but I do want to show you how that could be done. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of white, touch of white, add just a dab of water to that white because you want it to be a little bit runny, not a lot runny. Right. So I'm just going to flick. There we go. Just a tad. I don't even know if you can see these. These are just the tiniest little stars. But they do add dimension and depth to your painting, and they're just beautiful to look at. And you could see some reflections of the stars in the water as well. And all I'm doing, I'm just flicking it back like this. Flicking it back like this. So we are almost done. Now we come to the most important part of your painting, and that is your John Hancock. At the bottom there, your initials. And we're done. Great. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed watching me do this and that you'll give it a try yourself. And if you did go ahead and paint along with me, I would love to see what you've done. So please feel free to post it or send it in to the station. And I will definitely show it the next time that I'm on with you. Thank you so much for having joined me. I hope that you enjoyed it. You found it relaxing and inspiring. And remember that our God is with us, right? And that we look to Him as our help and our source in times of need. And all the talents that we have come from Him, and we have a responsibility to build and explore them for His glory. Thank you, everybody. I'm Nicole, and I hope you enjoyed Art and the Word today. Bye.